So why did you guys decide to team up? Because you guys are all like pretty successful on your own.
Made sense. And it just kind of happened.
Yeah, you know, it was honestly, I say it was the moon and the stars and the sun all aligning at the right time.
Retrograde wasn't in effect.
No, it wasn't retrograde.
There was no retrograde.
Thank God for that. I was on a search. I was on a quest to find someone to take together, to go together with, and to build my business going forward with, because I am 36 years in the business. I have to start thinking about my succession plan. I have to start thinking about taking more time for myself, that kind of thing. And so it was just it was a funny thing. These two had left Remax and had gone to another brokerage. And when they came and told me that they were leaving, I was heartbroken but didn't show it. I mean, that's not true. I think I actually shed a tear.
You did! You did. You cried a bit, and it definitely broke my heart.
Yeah. You were so nervous to tell, too.
It was a terrible day, but...
Yeah. And so you know, they were gone, and I hadn't seen them in probably 6 months. And I called up and said, listen, you know, we need to go out and have a beer together and just, you know, catch up. And so we did that. We went out for drinks that night and we started talking, and I told them a little bit about my plan. And I think that set off some lights for them, some vision for them. And ultimately, I had no idea of teaming up, that I would team up with two people. And no idea that I would team up with these two, who I loved so much before, right? I mean, just...
You loved us before, but not anymore.
You guys love Remax.
Now I do know them better.
Yeah.
Now I'm terrified.
Yeah, they are terrifying.
That's exactly it.
But, no.
But you make the same decision.
Yeah.
Now that you know it's a little bit.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, again and again and again and again. It's actually such an amazing formation of people together. We match so nicely together. We're the same yet we're different. I don't know if I was to use a Star Wars analogy. We were talking Star Wars earlier, right? No, it was Star Trek we were talking about, but Star Wars analogy. I kind of see myself as kind of this Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like the old warrior that's still doing it.
You're our only hope.
Yeah, but no, not that. No, but you know,
Oh, cheers to that.
just like sharing my wisdom, right? You know, to always be there, to have the you know, the wealth of experience to draw on. And so I think Talene would be Luke Skywalker, okay? The altruist, you know, wants to save the world, make everybody happy, right?
Yeah.
And me?
Jar Jar Binks.
And me? Can't find the words?
Yeah, no, you're right for me to say Chewbacca, but no. It's now we're going, I'm going to go Han Solo, okay? Because you are the wild card, okay? You know, like always, you know, pushing things out to the edge, always intense, yet heart of gold.
Yeah.
Heart of gold.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's you. So there you go. That's us.
Just be prepared. You might get murdered by your son when you're a little.
That's why I'm not having kids. Ever.
Women only.
Yeah, no, it was, and we've always kind of leaned to Paul for that mentorship. It's definitely, you know, the agent referral game is definitely something that we had an interest in, you know, right off the jump. There's a lot to it. We love spending time with our peers. We love getting to know them. We love helping them when we can, and vice versa, right? So we always kind of look to Paul for help and guidance and, you know, trying to figure our game out. And so when this came up, it was literally a no-brainer. Like, somebody said to me in these exact words, you can't not do this.
Yeah.
Paul Hannan is the male version of you. So you're just as much of a wild card, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying to tone that down.
I think the latest nights I've ever had in real estate at some point have involved at least one of you.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Yeah,
And
true.
too many more?
We're networking.
Too many more.
Yeah.
Many more.
So he says he believes you at one point you were against starting a team because of bad experiences in the past. What changed?
Oh, yeah.
The right people. Ow.
Listen, that's a great, I won't call it a question, but an observation. And he's 100% right. So my last team group that I had, there was 5 of us.
Yeah.
There was myself and my mother, who was working your way out of the business. Barry Bentley, who was working his way out of the business, and I had 2 brand new agents, Claudia and Vicky.
Yeah.
And Claudia and Vicky were both 1 year in the business. So what I saw is this, opportunity to take these 2 retiring agents and bringing their business in, and these 2 hungry young agents to help us work on this all together, ended up being a complete shit show, because I had 2 agents that didn't want to work and 2 agents that didn't know what the heck they were doing, and so I was working for all 5 of us.
Yeah.
And I was running myself into the ground, and it was just like, I can't keep this up. I need to make a change. So I tapered it down. The other 2 retired. The older ones actually retired out. And then Vicky was the first to go, and then Claudia right after that. And I went back to being a single agent, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the peace, the quiet, the not having to worry about making sure that there's something to do at the office for somebody to take care of. All that kind of stuff was gone. And so, for the last 10 years, I've been doing it on my own. But when I started thinking about taking this next step, this time it was, I need someone with experience. I need someone that can just hit the ground running. Proven track record, knowledge, capable, personable, all of the tools in place. Yeah. And so I began talking to people, and there were several agents that I talked to, and all of them, every one of them, would have fit in perfectly. And then these 2 came along, and they just completely changed my mindset. Actually messed me up. Really messed me up. Yeah. So to answer Chuck's question, in the end, it was because I was starting to look towards the future, towards year 37, and onwards, right? And
my 40th birthday.
Yeah. That I realized that I needed to do something, and I needed to do it the right way this time.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Chuck. Thanks for that question.
Well, and I feel like we're kind of on the same path too, right? Like where it made more sense to him to be like, okay, they get it, they want to grow in this, and this is my opportunity to make that happen for them and also for myself. Right? So again, I think it just came down to a really good match, and I think that when you find that and you feel that synergy within a group or even with somebody else, I think run with it. There's a reason why that's in front of your face, and that's an option at that moment.
I also think we did leave out a big chunk of like where our businesses were before even leaving Remax, that you and I had connected, and that was a big part of our business, working with the agent to referrals, and that's why it was something that there was so much synergy already to begin with.
Yeah, I remember having this discussion with Vanita, my wife, and talking about the different options that were available to me, and saying, I keep coming back to these 2. Like every time I do this turn, it's like, the power, all of the pieces of the puzzle were fitting together so well. I don't want 2 people.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
I can't handle 2 people.
Dare I make another man joke? Because they always come back. Sorry, I'll stop. My dad doesn't call me a man eater for nothing.
But so it just came down to, for me, everything they just checked every box.
Yeah.
So for like each of the way that you guys have always done business in the past, you guys were all like on your own for a bit, and you're on teams, and now you guys work together. Like, what's changed now that you 3 are together from how you guys have been operating in the past?
I've always enjoyed a collaborative setting. Like the same way that I say, oh, I had this team at my old brokerage. It was just that feeling of working together to be something bigger kind of thing. And so I've always had that, and that's why I did search it out in a team, right? I thought maybe this is the right fit for me. Maybe this is what I need to for other people to want my success and for me to want theirs, and that's where the magic will happen. I think I find a lot more gratitude, and I find a lot more just everything from more of a partnership, a collaboration standpoint, and that was the thing that I think I had to go through. I had to actually experience it to know what was and what wasn't the right fit. Some people might know, other people need to actually do it to figure it out, and so that's where I was at with that. And I mean, it was great, and I learned a whole lot being on a team, but this definitely feels a lot more authentic. I can be myself. Paul accepts, like, we are definitely out of the box a little bit sometimes.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah, I like pushing the envelope. I like being that person who skirts on like, are you unprofessional? Are you professional? I'm not sure. I like that. I like being unpredictable and giving people that element. And so knowing that Paul accepted it and actually enjoyed it, you know, like, and valued it within us was like, it was major.
Just to kind of circle back to what you were asking before, is that Paul had mentioned each and every single one of us are so much alike, yet so different. And I think that the strengths that each of one of us bring from a collaborative perspective, we like leverage that with one another. And I think that's kind of even catapulted our business to a whole different level, because you've got someone who may be a little bit more A-type that likes certain things, like from a branding marketing perspective, to be done, and that strength is put into place. That's all you, Jess. And like from a mentorship perspective, like we couldn't be blessed anymore to have somebody with so much experience in the business, like dealing with certain negotiations that typically will do things a certain way. It's like, no, we can follow like these ground rules and like work the offer situation, the negotiation this way. Try it, and guess what? It always works.
And it was like that even before we made the team. Like there was always a constant. I've known who I can call for that advice, for that, you know, that right answer, that reassurance that what I'm doing is right. And it has always come from Paul and my dad as well, but from Paul, and so him being still very active and wanting to do this together.
And it's like true, genuine camaraderie.
Yeah.
Here at the table, like there's never a question about like, oh, my GCI is this, my GCI, I did this many transactions. It's like, it's not about that. It's about, all right, let's work together, let's get this done, and we're gonna push forward. So
you guys really don't seem like you have any fun together. So.
Oh my God.
No, we try to
Seems
minimize
terrible
it.
here. Terrible culture.
Yeah, the tie's on real tight in this team.
What's the hardest part of being a trio of top producing agents all working together?
I personally think, and I can't speak for Paul, but I feel like we're a lot to deal with. I feel like he's dealt with it really well, but I also think that we have a lot to contribute and bring to the table. And so I think it's
whatever you need to tell yourself.
No, it has been good. I think it's been good.
No, it's been great.
Paul, tell the truth.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my answer.
Actually, no, it's too early. I have no complaints. You know,
in the honeymoon phase.
They'll show up in a few months' time. No, these two are just amazing to work with. They truly are. The level of fun, the excitement that I have before we get together. We have our weekly meetings, which we call our team roast. It's not the team meeting; it's actually the team roast on Tuesday mornings. Is a lot of fun. It really is. We get down to business. We're talking about what's going on, what needs to be done. But we have a lot of fun. Usually includes charcuterie and champagne and stuff like that. And you know, bringing three people together is always a challenge. One of the most exciting parts of having these two join me was that they loved each other already, and that I didn't have to worry about bringing together two people that, you know, could have an issue with me and very likely would have an issue with each other. So that certainly made, so it's all been about me making sure that I stay in their good books.
That we're happy.
Hashtag love is love.
Love is love, yeah. And you know what, as long as I keep them happy, everyone's happy.
So you guys have all been in it a long time, so I always like this question people in the industry. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen or had happen during a show?
Ooh, okay, wait. I did a showing.
Half the questions usually revolve around naked people.
So, hold on. This is close. This comes close. I was showing actually a place in the Marilyn Monroe buildings, and this was in the first couple of years. And when we first tried to open the door, it was kind of like opened a little bit but stopped. And of course, him being the cop, he wants to give it full force and push it open. And he did. And it was dark. All the blinds were closed, and there was mannequins and cameras everywhere. And I was we were like, we literally stepped in. He's like, yeah, hell no, let's get out of here. But
what in the seventh circle of hell is this?
Right? Like, I was like, this is super, super weird. And I was thankful to be with him, a cop, especially, right? When you're in that situation. Weird. I was waiting for somebody to pop out and be like, yeah.
No, you know, I can't think of anything quite that bizarre. I've seen some sketchy things on people's dressers and side tables and whatnot. No question about that.
You left your friend.
Yeah. walked in on several people in the act. That has happened. Yeah.
I walked in like in the shower.
You know, you think about the access we have to people's lives,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, using lock boxes to get into houses. And yes, you know, the office calls, they leave a message, they release the combination.
They don't always
And,
get
you know,
it.
someone comes home from work or someone comes home from out of town.
Yeah.
And, you know, you come walking and hopefully at the time your appointment was booked. And you never know what you're going to find, right? So
It's a little exciting.
always knock first.
That's what happened with mine. Like I did knock, and I remember I opened the door. Lights are all off, so I was like, okay, we can go in. And I'm like, but I can hear water running. And I was like, oh, they probably just like left on a faucet.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, oh, you guys like look at the kitchen because that's what they cared about the most. I was like, let me go turn off the water, and then I'll come back and join you. And I'm walking like everything light up in the entire house, but you can see the bathroom, the lights on, water's running. I'm like, hello? No answers. Like no one's responding, and I kind of just like go and give it one of these, and yeah, the guy's just sitting there like.
No!
I'm like,
I hope they can see that below this counter.
yeah. I was like, wow. I did like the full like.
And no.
Yeah, I walked up to clients and they're like, what? I'm like, there's a guy in the shower. We should go.
Yeah.
And then the best is the agent called for feedback.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you say?
I was honest.
He was just freshening
I
up
was like,
for the
I framed it as, you might want to make sure your client knows when there's a showing booked,
Yeah.
because that was awkward. I did not leave a card behind either. I thought that'd be weird if you came out of the shower and there was a new card sitting on the counter.
Should have dropped it on the vanity.
Call me.
Hey, buddy.
Call me.
Little winky face drawn on the card.
Leave it on the vanity in the bathroom, even better.
I had this one showing actually not too long ago with one of my clients in the Beaches area. We had gone in, the lights were all off. It looked like a normal house. Go down into the basement, it had like the drop ceilings, but those really excessively drop ceilings, so we're kind of like slouched over. But you can see there was like a mini door, no bigger than probably the cabinet door. And on the other side, there was like another room where you can see like scratch marks and like crayon drawings.
Ooh.
And then you close that door and you like made, and then you made like another turn into the other room, and it was all like crayon writing all over all four walls, but nothing above probably like 4 feet. So it's quite questionable. So we kind of laughed about it. We decided, let's go tour upstairs. Go upstairs, there's 3 bedrooms. First bedroom on the right-hand side. All doors are closed at this point. Open the first door. Smells kind of muggy. Don't pay too much attention. The blinds are all, the drapes are all closed. Then we go into the second room, and we see like almost like a body just like laying in the bed. But my client decided to turn on the light. It was just pillows. Walk into the third room. The room was only a single lazy boy chair sitting in the middle. Nothing else in the room, with a person sitting in it facing the window.
What the hell were you touring?
We all turned around, left, and it was a very scary experience, but the person didn't even budge.
I thought you were gonna throw out the gnome house.
No.
Were you in had gnomes everywhere?
But that was a good one. The gnome one was kind of cute. There was a little galleria in the kitchen with like the window had a bay window, but it was all sealed off like a solarium, and there was like a gnome.
They made like a gnome village in their bay window. It was just
It was amazing.
something else.
Creatively rearrange it on your way out.
So is this included or excluded in the sale?
Child's
I only
curious.
wanted if it's included.
Right?
What's the eventual plan for growth?
If I had a crystal ball.
Actually, you know, from
Say
from
what you've been thinking, Paul, 'cause we have our own idea.
Yeah, okay, so speaking as the team leader, okay, I don't want anybody else. You know what I mean? Honestly, I have. I see that I have my hands full already. You know, they are
With the business or the team?
Both. Same person, same
Yeah,
person.
you guys are the same people.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's because I already have 100% more in this team than I thought I was going to have, and having 2 of them instead of 1. I don't see a need for any real team growth beyond this. I'm not looking to run a mega team. I have no interest in running a mega team. The reason why it didn't work for me last time is exactly the reason why I wouldn't do that. I'm not into doing adult daycare. I do not want to do that, you know, rudimentary training, you know, how to draft an offer, how to send an email, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. And so I have no interest in going anywhere beyond these two. Now, if somebody showed up on our doorstep, okay, and they were like, and these two said, Paul, she needs to be part of this. You know, they fit.
need to be. What if 2 people show up?
Yeah, or they. You know,
What he's saying is he trusts our judgment.
Oh,
Take it.
yeah, 100%.
That's the alcohol.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's as much as you know, I'm saying that I don't need more. If they felt that we needed somebody else, or that somebody else would enhance the team, then that would make sense, because that's somebody that they give the blessing to. And again, we talk about how I really didn't want to have 2 people because I was afraid of that dynamic, the cattiness, if we want to call it that, between 2 people, whether that's male or female. I don't want to deal with that BS. If there was somebody that they felt would fit,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
in the company
The culture.
dynamic,
Yeah.
fit in within our culture, then they would be welcome to come and join us. But I'm not actively looking for anyone. No intention to do that.
So Jeff Margolis is asking, how many years before one can become a homegirl? How far along is Paul on that journey?
Well, the 3rd homegirl.
Well, we're starting up a certification program. It starts with Homegirl 101.
$9.99.
It's a subscription program.
Yeah, first of all, Jeff, you have to be a girl. I just like to point that out.
Drinking a lot of tequila and just being a total badass are the 2 minimum requirements. So.
Yeah, we already have one of those. Actually, we're looking for someone.
Honestly, I think we're all very firm believers in energy. And I know it sounds very cliche because a lot of people talk about it, but it just kind of really took off when we got together. And I believe it's because it's the right fit.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.